Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video today to watch. As the title says, this video is gonna be about contouring and bronzing. I wanted to have this up because I feel like contouring especially can really help flatter your features. If done right, it looks really nice, but it is tricky because if we place it in the wrong places or go a little overboard, it can definitely go the other way and not look as flattering. So I think my best tip for contouring and bronzing before beginning, if you're not too familiar with it or too comfortable, is looking at yourself in the mirror and just seeing what you would like to kind of hide, especially for contouring. We contour the areas that we want to hide, and so you'll see for me, I want to really make a difference between my cheeks and my jawline, because I do feel like I have a very circular area right here and chubby, so I'll put my contour right here and work my way up. I never want to go below because I don't want it to look like one big area. And so you'll notice that I don't have too much of a big forehead myself, so I'll only really contour like right here, not my whole forehead or a big portion of my forehead. People with bigger foreheads do tend to go a little bit more on the forehead because they want to make it look smaller, and vice versa. What would you like to make stand out? So for me, I would like to make stand out my jawline, so like below the contour, I'll like to put some translucent powder to bring that out and differentiate it from my cheekbones. And also I'll put highlighter on my high cheekbones to make that stand out. So and as always, you'll want to start light. If you're not very comfortable, you'll want to have a light hand, kind of just build it up, because bronzer is one of those things that you can easily go overboard, and if you go overboard, it's really hard to go back on it. It was gonna require a lot of powder, or sometimes just wiping your makeup away and starting again. I'll mention the products as I'm using, as well as my favorite tools to apply my contour and bronzer. And so let's get into it. So first, I like to spray myself with some kind of either setting spray or facial spray. I'm gonna be using the 4th Ray Glisten Up Illuminating Mist. So I'm using this mist to just have some moisture in my skin. If you're too dried out, your bronzer and contour can't skip. So I learned this trick from I Love Sarai. A lot of the tricks in this video I actually learned from I Love Sarai or Karen Gonzalez on IG. So she always spread some spray before going in with the next product. So to begin, what I like to do is grab a grayish tone shade as the one you see here. This is from the contour kit light to medium from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but I'm only gonna grab a very very small amount, especially for this kind of contour shade. This is a more grayish tone contour shade, and what a grayish tone contour shade does is it really marks the difference of the contour. But you don't want to go overboard with this one, especially because you can start looking very dark. So it's just gonna be very little to define. Also, I'm gonna apply on my hairline because I do kind of want to hide my widow's peak. That's something very prominent about me, my widow's peak. So I try to contour it as much as I can, just this little portion. Like I said, I don't have too much of a big forehead, so I don't need to contour that much, but just to make it a little bit more rounder, I contour the areas next to my widow's peak. Okay, so I'm no longer gonna go in with that shade because it's a little too gray, and so I just wanted to define. Now I like to go in for my skin tone with a shade this kind of like this color. It's not always this palette. This is the Ace Beauty Bronze in Paradise. Not cool, not too dark, something warm for my skin tone. So again, this one I am gonna pack a little bit more, but still tapping out the excess. And so now that I've applied it, I'm gonna work up. And like I told you, I don't want to contour too much this area, but I do want to bring color to it. So I'm not gonna go back into the shade. I'm just with what I have left on my brush, I'm just gonna work it up. And you'll see that I might even actually get to my blush area, but that's okay. You get to the cheekbone area, work up. And work in circular motions to diffuse that contour. So up here you want to diffuse it, and in your where you want to kind of cut, you do want to define. So I'm adding just a little bit more product to define this area. Run the brush through this area to make it seamless with my foundation and powder. I'm gonna take any more product, but I need to also kind of hide my my little chubby rolls right here, so I'll run my contour shade there to hide. I don't want it to look too dark, that's why I'm not dipping back into the shade. And so to apply my contour, I like an angled brush. For me, it's easier to work with an angled brush because it's already meant to work upwards, and you want it to be somewhat fluffy. You can place your contour with something more not as fluffy. Something like this, since it's smaller and pointier, would give you a sharper contour. So it's really gonna depend how much definition you want. I want definition, but a little bit more diffused, a little bit more natural. So now I've applied my contour, we're gonna move on to bronzer. My favorite bronzer of all times is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. That's because it's very affordable, but also very, very pretty on the skin. Such a nice shade for me. With this one, I apply it with not an angled brush, more of a fluffy brush, but not super big, because I still want to keep it in a one specific area. So my bronzer is gonna go right above my contour to give me some color. So I'm gonna place it right here for me. And again, with not dipping back into the shade, I'm gonna bring it up. This is gonna give me further more even color and help diffuse that contour if it's still not blended out completely. You really want to blend out your contour and your bronzer because you want to make it look seamless. You don't want lines to be shown. And in this bronzer, I'm going to take down my neck just to give it some color. Not to contour, not to hide anything, specifically just to match kind of the color of my overall face. I'm going to take translucent powder, and with a beauty sponge, you notice that the line is kind of evident. It went a little underneath my desired area because I want it kind of like right here, so you'll see a little bit beneath that. And so this is one of the best tricks. If you feel like you got your contour a little bit too lower than you wanted, something that will really help is the translucent powder. So we're just gonna let it sit there just to kind of absorb and brighten that area and get rid of a little bit of the contour. And now I'm gonna do my highlighter. And again, now I'm not gonna spritz because I already put the powder, but if you hadn't put powder, you would want to spritz some facial spray. I've seen that they recommend to do highlighter first, because that way you don't have such a harsh line if you put it after your blush. I'm gonna speed this up just to because I want to show it just so that you see how it works with contour and bronzer, but not necessarily because this video is focused on this. My highlight and blush are on, so now I'm gonna wipe away my translucent powder that I had sitting on the lower cheek area. And so you see that now we have a more defined contour. If you feel like you need to add a little bit more to bring it back, you can. Okay, so we brought it back just a little bit in case it got lost. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and just blend everything together one more time. So I'm gonna take a blending brush, just run it throughout my face, just to blend everything together, make everything work. And I hope you guys don't think this is too crazy. And now I'm gonna go ahead and spritz again, this time with this setting spray since I'm done with my makeup, just to make sure everything's gonna work together. I'm gonna run my beauty blender. All right, so this is my simple contouring and bronzing thing that I like to do. It's contouring and bronzing can get so difficult, or you can keep it very simple. Some people feel like they need to contour a lot of things, like they'll contour their nose, they'll contour their chin area. I say if you're starting out, keep it simple. I hope that you guys like this. I hope that you'll find it useful. Thank you guys so much again for coming to this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.